Hey, Mr. Outrageous here. Give me back my pro wrestling.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Give Me Back My Pro Wrestling.
For those who don't know now, you know, baby. This is Hot Rod Biggs, Jared, Jimmy Street. We're going to take them to the limit one more time, baby, right here on Give Me Back My Pro Wrestling.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome one more time to the Give Me Back My Pro Wrestling podcast, and it is me, your host, Jimmy Street, here as always. And guys, I hope y'all are having an awesome day. Thank you all so much for dropping by and checking out the show. Today, we have the one and only Mr. Outrageous Al Burke. That's right. He is an actor, a stuntman, and especially a pro wrestler. He's done so much. He's got some cool things. He wrestled a ton of names in the WWF, but then also on his IMDb, let me just tell you some of these things that he's done. Of course, he's done The Wedding Singer. He was Billy Idol's fan in that one, of course. We all know him from that. He was on a TV show, Mad About You. He was in the music video Marilyn Manson Disposable Teens. He was in the Offspring video, Original Prankster. He was on The Bold and the Beautiful, King of Queens, Eminem's video Without Me. He was on Star Trek Enterprise. Anyway, and it just goes on and on and on. I think he has somewhat 413 total credits on IMDb. Stuntman, did Cradle to the Grave. I mean, the guy's busy, and he's really turned his wrestling career into an acting career, and it's very cool, and we're so happy to have him on and can't wait to get to him. But before we do, got a few things to cover like always. The first one, of course, is last episode. We had the main man himself, Les Thatcher. Guys, that one was so awesome. Thank you all so much for checking that out. And Les is just really cool, and thank you so much, Les, for dropping by and telling your story, man. We could talk to him for 5-6 hours easy. So thanks again, Les, and I hope y'all enjoyed that. If you haven't, go back and check that one out too after you check out Al today. Thanks, guys. Next thing I'm bringing up, of course, we've been bringing it up recently, of course, our buddy the Demon Dale Torborg and his shoe company, Pahi. Pahi is great for balance. If you have a loved one or if you yourself are battling with balance issues, these shoes are here for you. They are lifesavers. Trust me. I got a pair for my mom. I even have a pair for myself. I love this company. I know you will too, especially if you or a loved one have these types of issues. It's pahiusa.com, and you can use the code BBB10, that's Dale's code, to get 10% off your purchase. Check it out. Literally, lifesaver. Thank y'all. Check them out. Dale's great. All right, y'all, that's all I have for the open today. Welcome to episode 133 with Mr. Outrageous, Al Burke. All right, we are back with a very special guest. And when I say special, this guy has such a cool career. Not only is he a wrestler, he is an actor that you've probably seen in a lot of things, maybe even didn't even know you saw him in it. And then he's an all-around great guy as well. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show, the one and only Mr. Outrageous, Al Burke. Al, it's great to have you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for having me, and I look forward to this.
Yeah, well, I'm very much looking forward to this. I recently read your cool article from Pro Wrestling Stories with Jim Phillips, a friend of the show, and what a great article that was.
Yeah, he did me good, but I've had a very blessed 2 careers, both in wrestling and then in acting. I'm not the biggest name. I wasn't back in wrestling, but I got to face some of the biggest guys in the world and the biggest, baddest guys in the world. So, I was very lucky.
Yeah, you were, and that's a good thing to be. Sometimes that's all you need is luck.
Definitely, most definitely.
Yeah. Well, let's start at the very start then. Who trained? Oh, I guess I read that you have a very interesting entrance into wrestling. So I guess start with how you got into wrestling, and then we'll get to who trained you and that kind of thing.
Okay, friends of mine, they were the Terminators back in the Midwest at the time, and they ended up going to NWA and stuff.
Yeah.
But they knew Hulk Hogan personally.
Oh.
So they took me over to Hulk's apartment. He had just come back from Japan. He was still working with the AWA, Vern Gagne at the time, and doing his runs there. And I remember him walking out of the bathroom because they knew him at that point. They had already met him. I had not. He walked out of the bathroom, ducked coming through the doorway. I'm like, whoa, dude, you are freaking big. And he ended up taking us to the matches that night. But before we left, he told us all where to go to school, how to train, how to become a pro wrestler. And thought, this is interesting, but I don't see that happening with me. It's kind of a stupid idea. Being a pro wrestler, no. And so I walked away from the meeting just saying, nope, can't do it. My friends were like, oh my God, this is so cool. We're going to go do this, blah, blah, blah. And I listened to their stories. I think it was like 2 years. And I mean, they were, we're in Japan, we're in Australia, we're here, we're there, we're in Europe, we're all over the place. And we work for 20, 30, maybe 40 minutes a night, and we're done. It's party time.
Yeah.
So after a couple of years of listening to this, I finally says, you know what? Yeah, I guess I can do this. A personal friend that had me over at Hulk's place was Dan Rgnonti. He was actually Eddie Sharkey's head trainer at the time.
Okay.
And, I finally told him, okay, I'm willing to do this. What are we going to do? And he trusted me because he had seen me, not only in boxing, karate, underground bare knuckle fighting. So he knew I had a lot of ring experience. Mm-hmm. So, and plus, I guess I was fairly tough. So, so he took me under his wing, and we went off and we did the training. But he came to me the very first night when we were talking. He says, Eddie doesn't have a ring. And this is very typical of Eddie back then. He trained you on mats. I guess the Road Warriors were trained in mats in an ice cold basement. Well, that's the way Eddie worked, and part of it was when he had money to own a ring, he would buy one, and then he'd have to sell it to pay bills or whatever. I guess I don't know. Yeah. So Dan called around and found Jim Mitchell. Now, if you remember the Midwest, the Iron Duke, and he had some deformity. I'm not sure if it was from birth or whatever. I do remember, off the subject quickly, Mr. Perfect, Kurt. Yeah. Hey, Jim, give me a call. You want to go fishing? I mean, he was such a prankster. I loved him to death, and so sorry to see him leave. But anyways, we went to Mitchell's camp then because he had a beautiful ring and trained there. And within 6 months, I had my first match. They trusted me. And it was good running after that. I mean, I did learn a lot. I learned that you have to promote yourself. Sitting in your own home stable, as they say, will never get you anywhere. Yeah. So I started branching out here, there, and everywhere. And all of a sudden, a guy from Denver, Tom Shade, Shady Shade, the boys call him, was a promoter out there. And one of the boys, also from Minneapolis, screwed up on a trip there. And, he'd fly you in and everything, put you up, all that. So the guy roid rage and kicked the sink out of the wall in the hotel. So he was fired. And I came up next. So I went there and I ended up doing 8 years there. But, all because of the training of Dan. And, okay. I was very, very blessed to have him. I mean, he pulled no punches, even though we were friends. I remember I got an award at the CAC where they, it was the Real Award, REEL, for all the jobs I'd done in Hollywood. Yeah. And the cool part was when they first approached me, not the CAC, but somebody else that wanted to put me in for this, and said, "You remember, Roddy Piper?" Mm-hmm. I'm like, yeah. You have more credits than Roddy Piper.
Wow.
Dang.
That is awesome.
You know, Judo Gene LaBelle.
Oh, yeah.
Judo Gene has more credits than Roddy Piper, and you have more credits than Gene.
Wow.
And I'm like, wow, this is kind of cool. I guess I really do deserve this. So I ended up getting it. But I remember telling the story there. You know, I'm in camp. You know, I worked. You know, and Dan was going to show up, and I had to do a match. I choosing. Went out there and did this, did that, all this high flying stuff. Just kind of like what you see in the amateurs now.
Right.
Not the amateurs, but the indies.
Yeah.
And I come over to Dan, all proud of myself, and yeah, it went pretty dang good. And what did you think? It was horrible. Horrible. You got to stop watching TV and learn to wrestle.
Yeah.
So that was kind of my wake up call, and then I went about it. And yeah, you know, I was told in the beginning it took 8 years to really learn the business of pro wrestling. They ain't kidding. 8 years is where I really started to learn.
Okay.
I remember Hulk saying, he goes, I'm still learning every night out there. But what do you got to learn? Now I know.
Yeah. Well, you brought up your first match. Who was that against? Where was it? And what name did you use in that?
I was one of the ninjas back in the day.
Nice.
You come out of the Midwest. Everybody was a ninja. And I worked against Dan Rgnonti, who put on a jobber suit and talked me through my match. Okay. I remember at one point he goes, sidekick me to the chest. I backed up and I plastered him. Right out of karate. I mean, that's what we do. Right. And, you know, I mean, you know, he was ready for it. And, you know, Dan was great shape and lots of muscles and could take a good kick like that. And he's back in the corner. He's like, ref, the guy crowbarred me. So, potato. And then they went off, and I did a lot as the ninja. Okay. I ended up doing a lot more as Al Burke, which later became Mr. Outrageous. But also, I would do 2 matches in a night because I just wanted to keep learning. I wanted to keep wrestling. And one of the interesting things is when you do a second gimmick like that, you have to walk different, talk different, move different. Everything's got to be different. So I had these boots, and actually Dan Rgnonti gave me the boots, and they were size 10.5, and I'm an 11.5. So that made me walk different. But I remember walking and thinking, oh, these hurt, but that's the gimmick. Yep, got to go with it. And so a lot of people never caught on, which was okay. Yeah. But so that's and that's part of the reason I probably got so many matches. And then, you know, moving on to Denver, like I mentioned earlier with Tom Shade, I would do a regular match, and then I'd come back against my opponent in that match and the girls. So we do a mixed tag. Right. In fact, if you got your video. Yeah, dude. So, but anyways, so, you know, I was working pretty much 2 times every night. So, you know, I got to learn faster, you know, got a lot of road miles under my belt, and I was happy with what I did. Yeah, you should be. And I was going to ask this question. So in '88, you started working with the WWF, and I was asking, did you do indies or outlaw shows before that, which you clearly just told me that you did. Yeah, tons. Well, we had to, and I think that's part of the reason they picked me up. Plus, one of the things Dan taught me, if you break your word once, it's worth nothing after that. You can never get it back. So the golden rule, don't break your word. So I became known as, you know, just the no bullshit guy in Minnesota at the time. So Tom Stone from the Milwaukee would call me up and say, you know, WWF TV taping, I need, you know, 10 guys, 20 guys, whatever. And then it was up to me to get everybody together, get all the transportation. They treated us really good. I mean, I would go off. At one point, I think I rented 3 vans. And we all just caravan to each town. And you know, I still talk to some of my friends about those experiences, and we had a great time. And, you know, it's so much fun looking back and thinking, you know, we were, you know, basically the lambs going to slaughter. And, but we smiled, we did our job, we collected our money, and we went home. Yeah.
Yeah, hey, that's the job, right? That's it. I love it. I love it. So I kind of want to go over some of the names here in just a second. We do like a little name association to where you say a little story, or if nothing, that's okay. But your very first match that I could find was in September of '88. You actually wrestled Jim Duggan in Louisville. Were there any matches before that?
Not for WWF. I had plenty of the others, but that was
Sure.
my first one coming out. I remember walking through the curtain and hearing people, "You're going to get your ass kicked." On. I think there was like 50,000 people there. I mean, it was a great experience. And I remember I come out and the very first thing Jim does, kick me in the frickin' solar plexus, takes my air, and time to go to school. So I think he knew I was new. Like everything, we take it and, you learn from it and you do your best. And my very first match with WWF and my very last match with WWF in '93 was also against Jim.
I was going to point that out.
Nice going in, coming out. The last match with Jim, I mean, at that point I had proven myself. It was good times.
Yeah, no doubt. I've heard Jim's just a great guy. I've met him and just the nicest man, and his hand wrapped around mine 3 or 4 times, I think.
Well, imagine Andre.
No, I can't. We'll get to him. I can't wait for that. So between the years of '88 and '93, you worked very consistently for the WWF with singles matches and all kinds of different tag partners.
Yeah.
If you don't mind, let's go over some of the names. And like I said, we call it the name game, but it's just like a name association type thing.
No problem.
So DJ, hit the music. The very first one, other than Jim Duggan, of course, is the main man himself, Big John Studd. How was that?
Well, the weird part is that was the first night of a 2-night TV taping. Big John Studd followed by Ultimate Warrior.
I know.
Holy crap. Okay, John, great guy. I loved him. Start off the match, boom, boom, boom. I hit him, I think 2 or 3 times to the head. Jump up on the second rope, turn around, and there he was. Now, straight armed, he walks me off the turnbuckle. Mm-hmm. I'm 240. I had no idea John was that strong. He slowly started to lose me, put his hand under my ass, and threw me into the top turnbuckle. So the ribs took a bit of a beating that one. I was pretty much done. But then the next night, having to come up against the crazy man, Ultimate Warrior. That was a rough one. He tried to rip my arm out of the socket, or my shoulder. I mean, he Irish whipped me so hard I couldn't turn. I took the turnbuckle here and here, not being able to turn at all. But it's one of those things. I was happy to do it. I didn't sidestep anybody. At that time. Ravishing Ricky Rude, very good personal friend of mine, was working an angle against Warrior.
Yeah.
I came back in the locker room, Rick looks over, he goes, "Dude, that was just all wrong." I'm like, "Hey, I'm just here to do my job." He goes, "Oh, can't work." I'm like, "Yeah." Well. And at that point, he was pretty new in there, so... Yeah, that was one of those. I spent about a week in bed after that. I mean,
oh man,
I was hurting. I was hurting for certain.
No doubt, brother. Well, I feel like maybe these next guys weren't as hard on you, being that they were such seasoned pros. The Bushwhackers. Did you get licked?
I did get licked. The funniest part was they were telling jokes during the match. So, and usually the guy outside the ring is talking. The guy inside the ring isn't. He's just working, and he goes, "Yeah," and I, "What?" True pros. It's just one of those things. I was very blessed in every match I pretty much had there. We'll get to one that maybe I wasn't so blessed on. Okay. We'll keep going.
Like the previous one with Warrior, for sure.
Warrior, his inexperience was part of it, but unbelievably strong. Like I said, I'm 240, and he pressed me over his head. I had no chance to even base, and I was already up there.
Holy cow.
And then he dropped me and, runs to the ropes, splashes me, throws me out of the ring. And at that point, he ran out of the ring, picked me up, threw me over his shoulder. Okay, I'm out of breath. And you got your stomach right here in the crease of the shoulder, so you can't breathe.
No.
And he runs all the way back to the locker room with me.
Oh, man.
So, but that was Jim. He was over. I mean, Vince pushed him. I mean, Vince got some heat later with him, of course, with all the BS there. But,
right.
He was a great human specimen. I remember watching him the night I worked with him beforehand, taking amino acids. And it was the big bottle, what is there, 1,000 to it or whatever? Handfuls. And not just one, he took a couple.
Wow.
And it's like, whoa. But I remember looking at his skin, and you could see through his skin and see the fibers of his muscles.
Holy cow.
I mean, of course, you see all the veins, but the fibers, and his skin was turning a greenish, which means, his liver wasn't accepting a lot of what he was doing. But, not my call, and, he was on top of the world for a long time. And, he became a better wrestler. Let's put it that way.
Well, one of my personal favorites, I really enjoyed this guy. His name is Hercules. What do you got about him?
Just a real nice guy, a pro. Another one that's so sad to see him leave, especially under those circumstances. But no, it just went out there, worked, again, incredibly strong, but he was a great worker.
Yeah.
He was really good. So another one that was just truly a seasoned pro.
Yeah. These guys sometimes get some interesting conversation pieces going, especially being that one is considered the greatest of all time and the other is Party Marty, the Rockers.
My very first match against them, I worked twice. I remember looking at them going, God, you guys are babies. Are you even 18? But they, smooth as silk in the ring. And then they get to the top rope. They both jump off. They do the double, smash. Didn't feel a thing. I mean, the guys were really, really good, even at that young age. Yeah, it's really sad to see what Marty has become. During my time there, my 5 years, I mean, one would get fired, so they both got fired. Then the other one would get fired, so they both got fired. And they're constantly coming back. Well, Vince was docking their pay each time, so I think it was going down. But, they were great workers. I mean, of course, the girls loved them, so they were, the pretty boys and all that. Marty, it's just so sad to see and hear all the crap that's happening with him.
He was such a great wrestler.
That was handed everything. I mean, not so much handed, but given all the opportunities, and they took good advantage of it at the time.
Right.
But yeah, it's sad.
Yeah. Another kind of sad situation in a different light. The Superfly Jimmy Snuka.
I worked against Jimmy a couple of times. First match, everything went good until he did the splash. I saw bubble stars, fireworks going off. I thought for sure he landed on my head. Yeah. And I was outside the arena and trying to clear my head. The camera trucks and all that are out there. And the guy's like, "You okay?" "Yeah, I think he hit me in the head." "No, he didn't."
Yeah.
"Come here, we'll show you." And they took me back in the camera truck, replayed it, and it was just strictly chest to chest. That's the kind of collision that is. So they go, "You got to work more chest, brother." So, it was about, I think, a month, maybe longer. I remember coming up against him again, and I had worked out hard. And boom, he hit me, no stars, no bubbles. Like, yeah, I got it. But before that, I remember he got me down in the corner, and he grabbed me, and I saw fire in his eyes. Like, oh shit, did I f up? Yeah. So he's going to kill me. Yeah. He punches me to the throat, and it just barely felt it.
Really?
Like, Jimmy, you are a pro. You had me. But yeah, nice guy. Good worker, great gimmick, and another sad one. As most of the people I've worked with are gone, which is hard to take. And
yeah, definitely. Well, this guy, he's still around. He's still kicking, even though every other year he seems to have some kind of health trouble. And gladly, he's still here. Jake the Snake Roberts.
Yeah, Jake is funny. He's the first one that actually gave me something to do.
Oh.
I think I worked against him twice, but he's like, "Hit me hard, knock me out of the ring. I'll call you out, and I'm going to clothesline you when you get back up in. Take the bump." I'm like, okay. So I did, and went out there and hit him, and he's calling me out. I'm like, "Oh, you want me? You want? Okay, let's go." And he clotheslined me off the ring and everything. Took my bump, and but I've worked independent shows with him, after all this, and he's got a lot of demons in his closet, shall we say?
Sure.
But still, big guy, heck of a worker. I got to meet Damien up close and personal. Yeah, I guess I did only work.
I was gonna ask you.
I only met Damien once. Yeah, that's a heavy ass snake, I tell you. And he said, "Don't worry, he usually only bites me. He doesn't bite anybody else."
Oh, well, there you go. At least there's
I'm
that.
not really afraid of snakes or anything, so I took it. And that was always a big thing. Can you take the snake? And I'm like,
Yeah.
because I never wanted to be that no guy. Oh, I can't do that.
Right.
That's something they don't forget. That rings in their ears, and maybe not the reason, but it's that you said no. Well,
Right.
I never did. I just, I went out, did my job, and probably part of the reason I was, with WWF for 5 years, I walked away only because I was ready for my whole career to move on.
Okay.
And, I'd already won, I think 1 or 2 belts at that point, not from them, of course.
Right.
I remember Jimmy Hart came up to me and he says, "Hey, I saw that article about you in Wrestling World. Congrats, keep working harder." Wow, thanks, Jimmy.
Yeah. You noticed me?
Yeah, me, little old me, but
Yeah.
it's one of those things you just keep going. And I remember Dusty Rhodes.
That's who my guy on the next list is. So there you go.
And I remember working with Dusty, and like a month later, maybe 2 months, I'm on the list with them again. They never did that. And it says, "Hey, Dusty, we're working together tonight, but you understand we just worked together, not that long ago. I asked for you personally."
Wow.
Okay. He goes, "I just had surgery and I knew you wouldn't hurt me.
There you go.
Baby like a stepchild, I'm yours tonight."
Pat yourself on the back for that one. That's cool.
Yeah, and somebody like Dusty Rhodes, who's, a legend, especially in the Deep South and stuff, a heck of a good worker. I was really sad because at the CAC, he was supposed to come, I forget what year, but the very next CAC, he died before that, because I was looking forward to seeing him and talking with him and stuff like that. And, for any of your fans that aren't familiar with the CAC, it's a place that you can go meet the workers.
Yeah.
And a few years back, I get a little bit off the subject.
No, go for it.
Mr. Wonderful, Paul Orndorff. And I traveled many miles with Paul. Never worked with him, worked many shows with him, but not against him. And I heard he'd gotten sick. He had Alzheimer's or dementia. I think they're both the same. It's just depending on where they are during it.
Sure. Okay.
And I heard he was coming to Vegas. So, I was looking for him because, like I said, we did thousands of miles together. Yeah. And I come walking and I see him sitting at the bar. This was when we were still at the Gold Coast in Vegas. And I come walking across and see him go, so I knew, something was starting to click there, but he just couldn't put it together. And I walked over and we started talking old stories. I go, "Tom Shady Shade, you got to stay at the Motel 6. He goes, "No, I'm going across the street to the Motel 8. And that was the way Paul was. But so we ended up having a great time. Sadly, like so many, Paul has passed on, and his son is actually coming to the CAC.
Travis. Yeah.
Travis.
Very cool.
So
I'd love to have Travis on sometime. Talk to him for us. Tell him, hey.
Yeah, I will see him there. In fact, I think he's sitting at my table.
Oh, very cool.
CAC, I pull age and rank and whatever.
That's good.
I've been around here for too freaking long. I want one table. I don't want, because they open the doors and everybody rushes to find tables.
Of course.
Yeah, I usually, when I got my last award, I had 3 tables, 30 people.
Wow.
Just for me. So, kind of cool, pat on the back, but
yeah.
But no, I tell them, I don't want to fight for this. I'm too old and somebody's going to get hurt and it ain't going to be me.
Yeah.
So, but anyways, he'll be sitting at my table again this year or this year. He wasn't before. So, even like Kurt Henning's a widow and his son will be with me again this year. They were with me last year. So, it's a real fellowship. So for any of your people that don't know about it, look it up. Cauliflower Alley Club is now held in Vegas. B. Brian Blair, one half the Killer Bees, is our president. So it's one of those things. If people want, you can actually, go to what we call the gimmick room, where the people that are selling their goods, you can go and meet the wrestlers, get pictures with them and stuff. Most of us are pretty good about it. We'll take pictures especially the last night because we all get dolled up. I mean, we're all dressed in. It used to be you had to wear a suit or you didn't get in the door. Those days are kind of gone, but most of us, dress up. I've got my tag team partners, my mixed tag partners, like I showed you on the bell.
Yeah.
They're there. One lives in Denver and one lives in Atlanta now. She was in New York City. So, they all come. We're all at the same table and we all live by our past.
Hey, that's all that matters. That's awesome. I love that. We are big fans of the Cauliflower Alley Club. They do great things for all you wrestlers. So definitely go out there and support them if you can. Great cause, especially if you love the wrestlers that we love. You know what I mean? That's, Well, like we were talking, some wrestlers that we love, and you brought up their manager, Jimmy Hart, the Hart Foundation. How about them?
I was only in there with Brett. I didn't get in with Anvil.
Okay.
He hit me with a backbreaker. At that point, I had 4 damaged discs. I was nursing my way through, and I was only about halfway through my WWF time at that point. Yeah. He hit me with a backbreaker where my head was basically on the floor and my feet were on the floor and across his knee. It didn't hurt a bit.
Really?
I'm thinking, no pain. Wow. But no, Brett, what a class act. I'm looking forward to talking to him this year. I guess he's going to be back at Cauliflower.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Just guys like that really made it all worthwhile and a lot of fun.
Yeah. Well, you brought this guy up earlier, but we're going to put him with his tag partner in the Colossal Connection, Andre and Haku. How was that?
The first night, get out there and I'm thinking, wow, these, 2 legends.
Yeah.
For different reasons. So we get out there and, I start off the match and, he takes me over, Haku takes me over and smashes me into Andre's boot that he put up on the rope, tagged in Andre, and I go, I don't get paid enough for this. I'm out of here. That's like, well, Haku. We still laugh about this at CAC when we see each other. I go over, tag out, my buddy goes in, boom, 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 Andre falls on him, end of story. So the second time, they're just, Colossal Connection. The next time, and this is maybe a month or 2 later.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
And they are the world tag team champions for the WWF at that time. We weren't into the evil time. We were
right.
And I'd already worked that night. So they go out there, don't tag in. So, I got to do the old heel thing. And it was a really good friend of mine. I was like, yeah, I don't think so. Not tonight. The fans just went crazy on me. Take him out. Andre falls on him, all that stuff. And, but one little funny story. I think that one of those matches, I'm not sure that I worked against him, but one of my guys, I think it was 20 or 21 guys I had to bring. So I was really scraping the bottom of the barrel.
Yeah.
We brought a guy, he didn't know how to wrestle, but he was a referee and he was on the smaller side. He shows up, they look at him and go, what are you here for? I'm one of the wrestlers. No, you ain't. Not tonight. So the kids, this is his big shot, be on the WWF, be on, the Saturday and the Sunday and the Monday, all that. Nope, didn't get it. So he's moping around. He walks by Andre and I go, hey, kid, what's wrong? You said I'm too small to wrestle. He goes, did you get paid? Yeah. Good. Go get me some ice for my wine. So that was a little salt in the injury there, but what a great story. But no, Andre, heck of a guy. Just very, very cool stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow.
Plus, he's a giant.
Yeah, there are people that you think of.
Yeah, plus, he's a giant.
There you go. Andre is a icon for many reasons, but he probably is one of the most iconic of pro wrestling ever, I would say. Yeah.
Yes. And a decent guy on top of it, which, some of them are, most of them are.
Right. Right. Everyone that we've met has been great. I won't say anyone has been bad. So that's very cool. One of the guys that you wrestle next is a former guest of the show, Boris Zukov. You wrestled the Bolsheviks with Nikolai. How were those guys?
They were good. Pros again. Nice, easy match. I went through it. I was amazed at the size of their heads. But yeah, it's so funny because I knew the place that he went in Minneapolis to special order a motorcycle helmet.
Oh, really?
Because they couldn't find one that would fit him. So they had to have one made. But no, they're getting, great guys, fun to work with. Just happy to, the whole spectrum of what I got to see there.
Yeah, great guys. The next tag team may be the greatest tag team of all time, and many consider them that. The Legion of Doom, the Road Warriors.
I knew Joe and Mike from Minneapolis area.
Yeah.
They opened a gym there back in, their AWE.
It was called the Gym, right? Or something?
Yeah.
The Gym. It was a good name.
Yeah, it was just west of the cities, downtown. So, and I was always the western suburbs, so no big deal. But I walk over to him, I'm working with you guys tonight. He goes, yeah, we asked for you special. Okay. He goes, but we got to warn you, this is going to be a tough night. This is our first match here. Mm. We're going to come out. It's going to be stiff. It's going to be ugly. It's going to be mean. You bring it, boys. And laugh. Now, you can see it on YouTube, and it looks like they are ripping me apart. They're, again, true pros all the way. I mean, the drop kick, it's plants solid here. I mean, most people cave their chest in, and then the foot just, barely hits there.
Yeah.
And, they just, it was fun to work with them. I was very honored to be part of their first match or introduction into the WWF. And, again, so sad to see them both gone. I mean, it was hard enough when Hawk left and now Animal. And, it's the world we're living in. And I just realized, hell, I'm moving up that ladder pretty quickly here. All my friends are leaving me.
Man, it's my buddy Ben Jordan always says you either have the weight of being the first one to go or you're the last one to be alive. And he was like, I don't know which is worse, Well, my dad told me, he goes, I used to look at the obituaries and see somebody I knew every month. And then pretty soon it was every week. He goes, they're all gone now. It's just me. I think that's probably the hardest part. And in fact, next week I'm burying another guy, 57 years old. Director that I've been in every one of his movies, but he apparently just had a heart attack. The worst part is I think she's 7 years old. His daughter found him unresponsive. No, that's.
Well, I'm guessing it was just a heart attack where he maybe just went to sleep and that was it. I hope so. Thank God she wasn't there for thrashing and screaming in pain, things like that, like some people have to go through. But it's eye-opening. You got to get your stuff in order. This is, nobody is guaranteed to be here forever. And
amen.
Do what you can while you're here.
That's
right.
Part
of the way I live my life, as you could see from my wrestling and all the stuff I got to do, and even the acting. So.
Yeah. Well, this is kind of a depressing list. Honestly, that time that you worked there was such a great time, but also a depressing time for now. Recently on a Dark Side of the Ring episode, Big Boss Man.
Oh God. I loved Bubba. I remember one night, and I did anything I could to, make them look bigger and better.
Yeah.
And, I think he called the clothesline and go, hit me hard. And I ran across and I kicked out double as hard, hit the back of my head on the ring and knocked myself out. I'm laying there. Bubba comes over. He goes, ready? I go, no. Yeah, give me a few minutes. I can't see.
Yeah.
I went over and did his interview and stuff and came back and better. Yep. Went home and did all that. Yeah. What a great guy. I loved working with him. Just, a great memory of a great guy.
Yeah, no doubt. Another gentleman, again, this is just not a happy list, unfortunately, the Texas Tornado, Kerry Von Erich.
Yeah. Match with him, just a regular match. The hardest part about Kerry was I was with him the week before he committed suicide.
Oh, gosh.
We were on tour. Mm-hmm. He said, he goes, I screwed up. They're going to send me to prison. I can't do that. No, not realizing what he was really saying. And, but yeah, that's one of those, hearing him tell us that, ringing in my ears and realizing he was already planning on going and committing suicide because he couldn't do jail, couldn't do prison, which I can understand, but God, what drastic measures.
Yeah, that is a extreme solution.
And it's not a solution. Well, it's a solution. It gets you off the hook. Everybody else is left with just your memory.
You're right. To call it a solution isn't true. That's not really
It's a decision, but sad, but he made it.
Yeah. Well, this guy is multi-talented like yourself, can sing and can wrestle his butt off. The one and only Coco Beware.
I traveled many, many miles with him in the Indies too. Just fun. I enjoyed making them look good. It was funny because I would hear a lot of my coworkers, when they're talking to their opponent and says, what do you want? Oh, gee, I'd like to do a hurricanrana and blah, blah. Shut up, kid. I would just, and one of the things I told him is, if I happen to get outside the ring, slingshot me back in, I fly so far, I get entangled in the other ropes. Makes you look really strong. I always gave them something to make them look good. My job wasn't there to shine. I had my shining days on the Indies because I wasn't big enough for, the WWF at the time. It was the land of the giants, steroids, everything. You mentioned Sean and Marty. Marty and I were the same size.
Okay.
Sean was just an inch or two taller.
Okay.
And they were midgets back then.
Right. To those guys. Yeah.
Yeah. So, that's the size I was. So I took it, that was my thing and I'm happy. And I know a lot of guys say, well, I can't go to work there because, I just get beat up and you get paid well.
Yeah.
And the food was good. I'll give you one. We're sitting there. Now, I never wrestled this guy, but I've been on many tours with him. Sitting there in line, because every TV taping, they had a beautiful layout of food, 4 or 5, 6 different entrees, all this stuff. So you go on, take whatever you wanted. And we're all waiting in line, and Honky Tonk comes up and butts in. And he goes, well, what can we get you? He goes, I'm not like these guys. I'm not here for a free meal. I'm thinking, you asshole. We're putting you over. Well, I ended up running into Wayne many places since then. And like I said, we did many tours together. A decent guy, but he's got a heck of an attitude and he runs it all the way through no matter where he is.
Yeah. I've heard wrestlers, like younger wrestlers who were at their first WrestleMania, and they would be saying something about like how good the catering is, or, this is all great. This food is amazing. And Honky Tonk would be like, Mark, you're paying for it.
No, so we never had heat over that. I never brought it up to him.
Yeah.
But no, that was one of the things. And because we got to show up and do that and eat that, it was okay.
Yeah. You had a couple tag matches with a couple tough guys, the Nasty Boys and the Steiners, kind of like right in a row. How did those matches go? And maybe compare the two.
Well, the Nasty Boys didn't go so well.
Oh, I kind of figured that.
Before that, maybe a year before that, I got booked on an indie show in Key West, Florida, replacing the Nasty Boys. They had double booked themselves. I think it was Bahamas or Jamaica or something. And B. Brian Blair was part of it. Paul Orndorff was part of putting it all together and stuff. And he warned them. He says, no, you guys know they're going to cancel you. No, they guaranteed us, blah, blah, blah. Well, they call him up a couple of weeks later. Can we get back on the show? He goes, no, these guys have already bought their tickets. They're coming in. So we replaced the Nasty Boys. So we came up with a different looking gimmick. We went with the neon and, that kind of stuff. A little more street crud, but differently than the way they do it. So I remember talking to him. I go, hey, sorry about replacing you guys in Key West. Very first thing, I get clocked with a right hand right to the ear, stiff as my ears ringing. It's like, it's one of those. I can take it. I'm not going to bitch, but he throws me off and I couldn't hear what he said. Clothesline. Nope. Sorry. Ran right through it. He's ripped his arm out of the shoulder. So later, I ended up seeing him when they got an award here a couple of years ago. And it was the same night I got mine. So, I was on equal ground with them, but they were very, very nice and everything. And I didn't bring that up again. But afterwards, he goes, man, what the hell? I go, I couldn't hear you. You hit me so hard, my ears are ringing.
Yeah.
But that was the Nasty Boys. Then I get the Steiners, and I think I was their very first match coming in there.
Okay.
So the guy, whoever my tag team partner, I don't remember. Oh, I can't do that move off the top. I'll do it.
Yeah.
You know, it is what it is. I went off, and I ended up.
Was that the belly to belly that they do, that Scott does?
No, they pick you up on the shoulders and clothesline you off.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, sorry. Yeah. Okay.
And so I did that. I ended up cheating with the knee and smashing my knee into the mat.
Okay.
So I left that match, and it was okay. You know, we did good and everything. And I went, at the time, I was spending more time in Key West. I went down there, and my knee was like this big. Normally here, I was like this. So we go to the hospital. I don't check in or anything. I'm like, hey, can I just get, one thing I can suck the juice out of this?
Sure.
No, you got to check in. I'm like, no, I ain't checking in for this. And so I ended up, I go, you guys stay over there. I'm going to go wander over here. And I ended up finding a needle and a syringe. And so 17 cc's of fluid I took out of my knee that night. Yeah,
on your own.
It was cool. But, no complaints to them. I cheated the spot. I know, you got to land flat. If you cheat, that spot's going to hurt. And it did. So I paid for that, but it is what it is. Happy to work with those guys. One of them went up to Alaska, where I had a promotion in a school that me and my partner up there had. And so the school, we kind of let go, and so somebody else ran the show up there, and they weren't happy with any of their workers out of their camp.
Oh.
And one of them was like the main event. He was, and they were just getting bitched at. Well, you worked against Al Burke. Why the hell ain't he here? He's a hell of a worker. So, it's one of those things. Oh, well, sorry, guys. But
sorry.
If they hate you, they're going to talk a lot of trash. I listen to very little. I mean, I'm out there. I have a job to do. Bottom line, I'm going to do my job. And if I'm working against you, I'm going to make you look like the biggest superstar ever.
Yeah.
End of story. So, but a lot of guys didn't look at it that way. And I found a lot of the independents the same thing. Guy who showed, I ain't putting him over. I'm a better worker than him. Bye.
Right. Come on.
Yeah, I know, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
You're listening to Give Me Back My Pro Wrestling, and we'll be right back after these messages.
Are you a pro wrestling fan? Well, stop by Captain's Corner, where you can get autographed photos, cards, magazines, and figures from all of your favorite wrestling superstars of the past, present, and future. You'll also be able to participate in live signings in the weeks and months to come. Make sure to stop by Captain's Corner on Facebook and give us a holler. Remember, cheers to the working man.
Take the sport of professional wrestling. Add the city of Las Vegas, Nevada. Erect the wrestling ring at the MGM Grand Garden Arena. Mix in rabid wrestling fans and all of the excitement and action of sports entertainment. And we proudly present to you the best of Blackjack Brawl.
Well, after the Steiners, you end up working Crush, Tatanka, Bob Backlund, and then you have that full circle moment with Jim Duggan in '93, and that showed you as your last listed match with WWF. So you confirmed that earlier that it was. Yeah,
I'm pretty sure that was. I'd done some house shows in between this time too, but none of those were listed. This was just for TV.
Yeah,
and there's a spot on the internet. I think it was like WWF TV matches, and it lists every one of them.
Yeah,
so I was able to go through and this is
cage match. I think. Yeah.
So that was a nice run down memory lane for me when one of my fans found it and sent it to me. I'm like, oh, cool. Yeah,
it's cool how much you can find. Now, there isn't everything, unfortunately. We wish there were, because it would make our jobs a lot simpler. But, and so during that time, you were working other places, or were you weren't working solely for the WWF, correct?
Oh, no.
Yeah.
They would only call me up. At best, it was every 3 weeks. But then once I did like 2 of those 3 weeks in a row, then I had too much TV, so I'd have to take off 2 or 3 weeks. And they'd be working like Northeast or, North, something like that, where I wasn't invited, and they had plenty of, especially Northeast. They got plenty of workers out there.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I think
Definitely.
the closest I got was West Virginia for them.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, cool. And so did you ever have any thoughts of going down to WCW at all?
No.
No, just not a.
Couple of reasons.
Okay.
I felt I did my time in the WWF. That was good enough.
Yes, sir.
One little story I'll get to in just a second, though. But also a guy that I was familiar with, Eric Bischoff, was down there at that time. Now, go back about a year, I think. I walked into the AWA offices, Rgnonti. Walk in, who's there? That's when Eric Bischoff first started in there. He'd been working there for a while.
Yeah.
And I says, I've been around. I've got, I think of about 8 years at the time. I've got a couple of championships, and I would love to come in here and get some kind of a push. And Eric goes, sorry, Vern's closing the shop up in a month. 30 days, that's all we got. We're all done. Okay, I didn't take it personal or anything like that, but Eric and I never really got along. We took karate together.
Oh.
And, there was always that fighting ego. We only fought once, and I played the chicken match. I stayed away from everything he threw. He was, I'll legitimately say he was a better karate person than I was. Okay. I was a boxer. I was a fighter. And, if I got you in my claws, it could hurt. He was one of those, so what I did is I got a little back fist, come out, just barely caught his face and back. I'm like, I'm done. Nothing, I won. So I made sure I rubbed that in quite often.
Okay.
But, no, I looked like I did my jobber time in the WWF. I went to the biggest, the baddest, and the best. That was the WWF.
Right. Yeah.
I did not need to go anywhere else.
Yeah. Okay. So, good point. Yeah.
But then I started working other indies. At that point, I had also moved to California.
Okay.
So I was working a lot of the independents out here. I got hooked up with Woody Farmer up in San Francisco. I was one of the few guys that got to work for all 3 promotions in San Francisco with no heat.
Oh, wow.
Because nobody would fight me.
Right.
Nobody would bring it up to me.
Yeah.
I remember Woody, he looked me up. He goes, I got to bring you in. He goes, I got some guys I got to set straight. So the first guy, he bring me in, you're working against this guy. Okay, talk to you later. And, and finally, I could see him pacing, he's like, oh my God, I got to talk. And finally comes over and he goes, can we talk about the match? I go, no, not really. I go, let's just walk and talk in the ring. Huh?
God forbid.
And he goes, but I wanted to do this and this. And I go, that ain't going to happen. Sorry. Well, the workers there that had been there for quite a while were listening to all this because they knew what was coming.
Yeah.
And, like saying, oh, I'm going to do a hurricanrana. No, you're not.
Sorry.
No. I mean, going back to Jimmy Snuka, I did not do a frog splash off the top rope for, I believe it was close to 20 years of my career.
Wow.
I was told by Rgnonti that you go to the second rope, you could hurt yourself. You go to the top rope, you could cripple yourself and end your career. The choice is yours. Well, at that point, I figured I had gone far enough that, I could do some things. And the frog splash is strictly you jumping across. Yeah, the landing's a bitch. But when you go to the top rope and the guy'd come over to throw you off of there, I would never let them do that because I never trusted them.
The deal or whatever. Yeah.
I'd rake their eyes, clear. Okay, boom, I'd take the bump myself.
Yeah.
I had no problem taking a big bump.
Sure.
But I'm not going to take it when I have to trust you to do it right.
That makes total sense.
And that's part of the reason I think I had such longevity in the whole business.
Yeah, because in 93, you didn't stop long. You started working for Herb Abrams UWF as Mr. Outrageous. Tell us what that gimmick is.
Mr. Outrageous can do pretty much anything he wants.
Yeah, that's what we've heard.
And Herb brought me in. I talked to Herb ahead of time. He looked me up and he says, yeah, I like what you've done. You can come work for me. No idea what kind of circus I was getting myself into.
Right.
I was with Herb. I ended up second in command.
Oh, wow.
I have all of the UWF TV tapes right now.
Holy cow.
280 hours. Now, Todd Okerlund, Mean Gene's son, is my distributor of those.
Wow.
Now, he went through and redid a whole bunch of them and brought Mean Gene in to do voices on it. Now,
I've seen some of that. Yeah.
It's not old enough to be antique,
right?
Not new enough to be good, and not anywhere in between to be that good. Herb put on a weird ass show. My biggest show for him was the MGM Grand in Las Vegas in the Garden.
Right. Sunny Beach, right?
Oh,
and yeah.
He changed me to Dr. Feelgood.
Yes.
And so Missy Hyatt was my nurse, and she didn't want any part of that because she loved her boys from, other leagues. But he made her come out, so I gave her my smock and stuff. And, so that was the first big thing. After that, I'll give you a Herb Abrams story to stop.
Please. Yeah.
Herb calls me up, and it's probably been a month or two after MGM Grand.
Okay. Yeah.
Maybe before, but I think it's after.
Okay.
I want to go to I want to go to Hawaii. My girlfriend wants to go to Hawaii. I'm giving you 2 tickets. Dr. Death, Steve Williams, is bringing his girlfriend, so they're going to meet us there from Japan. And let's go to Maui. Okay, I can do this. So at the time, I wasn't getting along, in my situation. So I told him, here's one of the tickets back. I don't need it. I'm going solo. Well, Herb has a fight with his girlfriend the night before.
Oh.
So he takes one of Heidi Fleiss's hookers with. Now, obviously, this is way back before all the crap where,
Charlie Sheen.
No ID, no nothing. There you go.
Yeah.
So we all fly over them. We're having a great time. Well, Herb, little Jewish boy, can't be out in the sun because he's fair-haired and all that. Not that I'm not fair-haired with a little bit of Irish, but Steve and I are in the pool. And Herb's over in a cabana, where the bar is and everything in the shade. And the waitress comes over with a full tray of drinks, all the same. She goes, sir, I guess these are for you. Go, oh, yeah, set them down. I'll see you back in a half hour.
Yeah.
For what? I go, the next round. That's the way Herb was, Steve would get a tray, I'd get a tray. We're sitting in the pool just pounding drinks.
Yeah.
And so that was the thing. Well, it turned out our trip was paid for because Herbie, great old Herbie, took his sister's social security number and got a credit card for like $20,000 and maxed it out. But to add to that story even worse, his sister is married to a field FBI agent.
Oh.
I'm Herb. Are you freaking nuts? You're going to die.
Yeah.
Nah.
I'll be okay.
1 month later is when he had his whole fiasco out there in New York, bathed in baby oil with a baseball bat, being naked.
Yeah.
And he knew he was going to go to jail.
Oh, man.
He was kind of like Kerry Von Erich. I had personally called Judge Myra, who was his judge, who put him on probation, and I knew he had gotten off of one of his drug tests. Oh, no, he's taking an antihistamine with this and that and that. So the prosecutor ended up getting her doctors to look it all up, but didn't get reported back for like 2 weeks and know he was lying, that it wasn't possible. So I talked to Judge Myra and go, he's got a problem. Please don't let him slip through the cracks or he's going to die.
Yeah.
Yeah, look what happened. He died. So Herb knew he was going to go to prison. And he, like he said, he was, I can't go. And so that was the sad part. And, I was very upset at Herb. Here's a guy who in a weekend could go out and raise $500,000.
Yeah.
300,000 to 400,000 of it would go up his nose. And then he'd run some schlocky, show, whatever.
Right.
That was Herb. Love him, hate him, whatever. I know a lot of guys have very bad feelings. A lot of them have been screwed.
Yeah.
I was out a little bit of money at the end, and so that's why they haven't gotten the tapes back.
I don't blame you.
I had them, and then says, "Well, you send them back. If we make money, we'll pay you." No, it ain't working that way.
No,
they don't leave my hands till I get paid, and it was only a couple $1,000s, so it was nothing that huge.
Right.
Well, they're still sitting here.
Well, now that it's out there in the air, and you may have told this story before, but now that it's out there, don't be surprised.
Yeah. No, and it's one of those. In fact, I got a notice here about a week ago that a guy wanted to acquire the UWF somehow.
Okay.
I go, we'll talk. He gave me his number. I haven't called him because I don't,
Right.
I mean, I'm not going to let it go for free, but it's not going to be like $1 million because it's not worth that.
Right.
But those tapes, 280 hours plus whatever Todd Oakland did with his dad, that's worth some money.
It's worth something.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So, but I'm okay. I don't need the money. I don't, it's one of those, I don't worry about it. It's just, it is what it is. It's part of my Herb Abrams story and
they're there.
The bullshit that went with it. Give you a quick story on Herb. He was moving out of his Malibu home. He had multiple homes. He had a home in Malibu. He had a home in Venice Beach. And then I think he had one other home that I hadn't been to. But he was getting kicked out of the Malibu home finally. I mean, he hadn't paid rent in like 6 months, one of those way up in the hills overlooking everybody. You go, there's nobody hiring you. Yeah, I wanted to piss on everybody below me. So I hired my kids. I had 2 daughters at the time, not quite teenagers, but, getting close, and another boy to help move merchandise because we had to clear this garage and go to storage. And Herb was laying on the ground crying. I'm dying, help me. And I walk by and go, you brought this on yourself. No, you got to help me. I think I'm going to really die. I'm like, you.
Yeah.
And the kids were walking by and they were like,
yeah.
And I went, whoa, stop. Look at this. This is drugs. This is as good as it gets. Does this look like any fun?
You enjoy that? Yeah.
No. And, knock on wood. Thank God they're all adults now. And, there's never been a drug problem.
That's awesome.
So maybe that helped. I hope it did. I felt bad, because I really did love Herb. I knew he had major, major issues.
Mm.
It's just one of those things. I didn't fall into that trap. One night in Malibu, there, same home, knock at the door. I go get the door. There's a very good looking woman, half dressed, one of Heidi's girls. Send her back here. So he brings her out, I hear the crashing, banging, all the shit. I didn't realize what all that was. It was his paranoia when he got on coke that they were watching him.
Oh.
His house in Venice, he had destroyed the TV, ripped the thermostats out of the wall, ripped the phones out of the wall, broke the phones all up. This is before cell phones. Took a knife to the couch, holes in the walls. I remember in the kitchen, loaded with dishes and ant colonies, going everywhere. That's how he lived.
Wow.
But he was so afraid somebody was watching him. And it's like, no, I've never seen that before. I hope I never see it again. And I don't have a lot of sympathy for the boys or anybody that gets on drugs because I don't feel, you weren't strong enough to get through it. So, you didn't deserve it.
Sure.
And that can be mean and that can be whatever. Oh, yeah, they're sick, whatever. I don't care.
Yeah.
We're put on this earth. We're in charge. You got a brain. Figure it out yourself. If you can't, you're going to die.
Right.
And we're all going to die. So, just earlier than later. And
don't rush it. Yeah.
Yeah. So having Herb die, it took a lot out of me. I had my Dr. Feelgood tights made up just for that one show and never used them again.
Mm.
They're all professionally airbrushed and everything. I had my guy down in Key West airbrush them all pretty and stuff and said, Dr. Feelgood running down the leg and never to be used again. Mm. But that's okay. I put that to rest with Herb. I came to terms with his problem cost him dearly.
Yeah.
But yeah, as crazy as he was, as gifted as he was, as screwed up as he was.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, thank you. Those are incredible stories. I couldn't have even guessed that you.
I could go through much more, but I'll leave that for another time.
Part 2. Yeah. Well, you went from one crazy wild business to the next crazy wild business. Hollywood started calling. How did your acting career start? I guess talk about that. I read something that you were offered a role to play a bad guy on the Atomic Blue Mexican wrestler film. Is that correct?
That is. The stunt coordinator on that one was Carl Lauer. Carl was the president of the CAC for many, many years.
Oh, cool.
And then he also was the promoter here in LA. He ran the Olympic Auditorium. Now it's a church. But so many great shows, both boxing and wrestling, happen at the Olympic and stuff. And he got me together with Professor Tanaka.
Nice.
And we went off and we did a charity together with, I can't think of the other guy's name, but it'll come to me in a minute. But anyways, Carl calls me up one day. He goes, I got the perfect job for you. He goes, I'm stunt coordinating this film, and there's a character called Tex. All you do is beat up, kidnap, and kill Mexicans in East LA.
Oh, God.
I'm a bad guy. Of course I can do this.
Of course.
Well, we're working with Lucha Libre guys. So our fights were smooth, seamless, all in. But it was, that's how I got acting and did that. And thought, wow, I didn't want to switch over, but I thought, you know what? Sounds interesting. And I was loving wrestling at the time.
Yeah.
So I went ahead and had a friend in Hollywood that she was very established, told me how to go about getting an agent. And she says, you pick 10 or 12 of these agents out of this book and you mail them something. And if you don't hear back in a month, you take 10 or 12 more. I heard back in 3 days.
Mm.
So that was kind of nice. It's like, oh, no, I want you.
Yeah, that's
okay.
awesome.
And most of the time they're like, no, we're not interested.
Yeah.
So I ended up, and this was a lady that mostly did kids. So she started an adult division.
Oh.
And then changed from that and went away from it, which is fine, but that got me my first wrestling spot on TV. It was a commercial where we flew to San Francisco from LA here to work up there. Well, all the workers in San Francisco were pissed because they all auditioned and didn't get it. I get it. Okay, I am a worker. The guy I'm beating up in the commercial had never stepped foot in a ring. Never.
Oh, okay.
So they were really mad.
Yeah.
So, whatever, go up there. So I ended up getting that through, this lady. So I was very happy. And that got my SAG card and everything else. And
nice.
So at that point, I went off. And once she did that, I went ahead and, went to another agent. That got me The Wedding Singer.
Yes.
Kind of my claim to fame for bigger movies.
Can you give us a little of that?
Don't you talk to Billy. I'd like that.
Yes, thank you.
So, that became one of the best one-liners in all of Hollywood, along with a few others.
Yeah.
I'm proud about that. The cool part is, to this day of 2026, I still get paid for that movie.
Oh, dude, that's incredible.
What was it, 1995, I think?
Something like that. Yeah.
So here we are. What was that, 30 years later, and I'm still getting paid.
How is Adam? Yeah, how's Adam?
Adam Sandler and Drew Barrymore.
Yeah, how is he? Is he cool? He
was very cool. I remember I walked on the airplane. We were at the Universal Studios, and one of the sound stages had 2 complete airplanes in them. That's how big the sound stage was.
Holy
no, not tail section or cut off at the nose, so you had the cockpit in the first class, and so 2 of them in there.
Wow.
Well, I walk in, and it was a day that was I think it was mid-90s at least, and I'm dressed in leathers.
You look like one of the dirty white boys.
Yeah. So it was hot, it was sticky. So I walk on the plane, they escort me onto the plane, and Adam goes, "Hey, Billy, there's your bodyguard." Well, it turns out that Adam had personally picked me from my tapes. He goes, "You're really funny." I'm like, "No, dude, I'm not funny. You're funny. I'm nothing." But he picked me from that tape and, gave me the spot. So that's kind of cool.
That is so cool.
So I've never worked with him again. He likes all of his friends that came out of the cracks, let's say, way back in the day.
Right.
Nothing. They were sleeping on, somebody's sofa, just trying to make it.
Yeah.
He's given all of those friends jobs, which hats off to him,
Yeah.
It's nice to pay back. But no, a decent guy, he wasn't, the Adam Sandler we see on TV and all
or
even our
right.
thing.
Right. Yeah.
So
Yeah. How was Billy Idol?
sadly, Billy's kind of checked out. I
Ah,
think the take they use on in the movie was the very first one we did.
okay.
We did at least 10 or 12 takes after that. They put down sandbags so he couldn't push the cart.
Gotcha.
And he did.
Yeah.
So, anyways, yeah. But the cool part of that, another cool story, we have a wrap party. So when we're all done working, the film is complete. They put a lock on it, all that. They throw a big party for the cast and crew.
Mm-hmm.
Billy comes with his band and equipment,
Nice.
sets up, and gives us a 2-hour concert for free.
Dude, man.
I mean, I'm arm's length from the speakers.
Yeah.
Stage.
Wow.
Adam played every single song with them. I knew Adam was a musician.
Yeah.
No idea he was that good.
Right.
I don't have a musical ear. I don't think he missed a beat through every one of their songs.
That's
He
amazing.
was that good.
Yeah.
So hats off to Adam, and I'm sure that was a big spot for him too. And he might have even asked Billy, can I pay you extra, bring your band, blah blah, whatever. I don't know, but what a cool experience. I'm thinking,
Yeah.
wow, this is Hollywood. This is like this all the time.
Yeah.
No. Never been like that again.
Oh, man. Well, yeah, that's a great point. You have done so much, though. 413 total credits between acting and stunts and other things on IMDb. And obviously, that has to be one of your favorite roles. I mean, you do seem to play a cop and a convict really well. But what other roles have you really enjoyed?
Well, lately I'm growing this out. I played the old Irish hitman.
Whitey Bulger. I saw
Whitey
that.
Bulger, yes. We did a movie. I was in the movie. They called me up and says, "We hear you still have your beard. Tell me you didn't shave." I go, "Didn't." "Here, we're going to email you this really quick. Look at this picture. You're Whitey Bulger. Can you come tonight?" I went over. Now they're doing a TV series. The name of the movie was I Am Bone. And the guy that's named Bone is actually, I think, is his gang name.
Okay.
And long story. It's almost documentary style. I Am Bone, as to what happened to him, which drove him off to prison.
Okay.
He meets Whitey Bulger in prison.
Wow.
Doesn't no friends, no nothing like that. Everybody keeps their distance. Then he meets Whitey Bulger on the outside, and that's what we see in the movie, where I walk up and I buy a bag of weed.
Okay.
And the guy is, young kid and stuff. And I'm afterwards, they show everybody this part of with me, and just, you got to have him in there more. Oh my God! So they had me looking out the window, looking at Bowen down on the street making deals and stuff. I go, "Hey, honey, I love this kid. Look at him. Reminds me of me when I was young. He takes no shit. This kid's cool." So then I go down and buy a bag of weed from him, and he goes, "I don't sell to just anybody. What's your name?" "I'm Bulger." "Yeah, I only know one Bulger from Boston." "Yeah, Whitey Bulger." And so I pull out my ID. He goes, "Whitey Bulger?" He sells me a bag, and he goes, "Yeah, I'll see you again." I go, "Yeah, I'll be back if it's good." He goes, "Oh, you'll be back."
Yeah.
So it's set up, but this guy actually knew Whitey Bulger, met him in prison, met him outside, met him back in prison, that kind of a thing. So we're doing a TV series. So I'm growing this back now, so I can be I don't have the hat here, my Whitey Bulger self.
Yeah. That's awesome.
So that's been kind of fun. That's been very different.
Okay.
I just played 2 judges this year. So that, and I grew this out originally for the judge, because I wanted to get away from my look as the cop.
The mustache. Yeah, which is a great mustache, by the way. Got to give you props on that.
It gives me lots of work. But I wanted to change it up, so I get this, and then I get Whitey, and oh my God, things are going crazy. So, it's been fun. It's been interesting, and yeah, Hollywood's been good to me. But I'll give you a quick story there. I come out of wrestling where, we're worth money. And I decide, okay, what am I going to ask for to get paid? And I'm thinking, you know what? $300 a day or I don't get out of bed. So I do a lot of seminars on how I get so much work. I go, guess where I spent most of my time? In bed. Realizing that they may not have that in their budget. So they're going to take somebody. Why not me?
Right.
So I says, I've got kids in college. I got bills. Don't be stupid here.
Right.
So I decided to take every job I could get, whether it paid or not,
Okay.
just to build my IMDb. And that's what I've done. Now, music video wise, very few of those are on IMDb. I've done 7, 8, maybe 900 music videos today.
One of the biggest of all time with Eminem.
Yeah, Eminem, Toby Keith, who's now gone.
Right.
What's his name? Oliver Tree, who just died in that
Just passed. Yeah.
Helicopter accident.
Yeah.
I've been, Pharrell Williams. Lindsay Lohan. I've had, Marilyn Manson.
Yes. I remember that. Yeah.
That was my very first video.
Yeah.
I snuck my kids on stage.
Oh.
Into the studio. They got to stay for probably 45 minutes before they got caught.
Oh.
They're like, wait, you're not supposed to be here.
Who were they?
They were just, and I was the lead stormtrooper on his thing, and they brought in a bunch of his fans and was like, well, can we mosh pit with you guys? We got shields and we got, the nightsticks. And, yeah.
Yeah.
Boom. And they were loving every minute of it because for them it was real, and it was real.
Yeah.
No, I've been there again, very blessed to go with some of the biggest people out there. It's been an awesome run, and it's been cool.
Yeah. You have been so kind to come on and talk to us and give us your story. I guess let's talk about this real quick. What do you have coming up that you can share as far as roles?
The Whitey Bulger one.
Right.
I'm not sure if I Am Bone will be the name of the TV series.
Yeah.
But if anybody wants to go watch, it is a true story set up documentary style and movie style. So it's an interesting mix. I actually liked it, and I'm very critical.
Yeah. Okay.
So that, and then I'm Clown Motel 4.
Nice.
Punchy from the Killjoy series.
Okay. Yeah.
I got permission. Thank God I did this because that director just died last week. That's the one I mentioned.
The 1 year. Yeah.
Years old. He wrote Killjoy 3, 4, and 5. And we flew to China to film Killjoy 3. We actually flew into Hong Kong, took a train into China, and to film in a studio over there.
Wow.
So, they've got a bunch of kids locked in a warehouse, basically, that they went and they had their own dorms, but then they built our sets for us, and the sets were fabulous.
That's awesome.
And so I was able, before John died, to get the okay to use Punchy and to jump to a different franchise called Clown Motel 3.
Yeah.
I got that. I already shot it. Now Clown Motel 4 is coming up later this year.
Okay.
So I'm actually going to be playing 2 parts in this. I'll be playing Punchy again, but I'll be playing one of the tourists. So
okay.
I get to. Another one that I just finished is Naked Alien Massacre.
Nice.
Another guy that I've worked for quite a few times, Tim Chismar. And so we finished that, but they brought me in. They had a guy read, and the guy's like, no. I come in, I'm gonna die, and the guy who wrote it, one of my parts is of his dad and the way he's
okay. Oh.
And so I come in and I just blow him away. I'm like, yep, this is the guy.
Yeah.
So I play both the alien and this park ranger, and we fight each other because we end up crossing paths. So that was a bit of a mix.
Yeah.
And so we had to figure out. So I had a stunt double doing the alien that I'm playing, and I ended up as the ranger getting kidnapped by the aliens. And at the very end, you see one of my hands has become an alien claw. So the writer said, he goes, the aliens realize you're such a badass that they're going to make you part alien. That sets up for the next one. So those are a couple of things I have coming up. But yeah, fun things.
Yeah.
It's just one of those things. I mean, having a full alien suit on is not easy.
I'm sure.
I think I had to do that for 5 days outside almost all the time. So yeah, it's a bit challenging. I'm not in the greatest shape. I'm old, but yet I can go out there and still kick ass for hours in an alien suit. So I guess I'm doing okay.
Yeah. I mean, come on.
Yeah, it's fun when they call and say, oh, you're going to be a cop. Oh, cool. Payday.
Yeah.
Can you play any me? Oh yeah, I get to cross the line, or an alien or the judge or whatever. It's like, yeah, I get to do something different. That is fun.
Yeah.
I don't get to play a Hollywood dad very often because I don't have that Hollywood dad look.
Right.
But that's okay. I'm okay with that.
Yeah. Oh, the Captain Spaulding guy, what was his name? I forget it. He had a great career. In the 70s, he was an actor on TV roles and stuff. And then he became his gimmick and ended up taking him through the rest of his life. I mean, there's always elements that they always need all kinds of actors,
They do. And that's one of those things, anybody out there that is thinking about it, just do it. Try it. If you don't like it later, that's fine. At least you tried it and
Right. Right.
I remember telling my dad way back when that, I really wanted to be a Hollywood stuntman.
Yeah.
And I thought, if I could just get one job. Well, I ended up getting one job and then two and then three. And I think I've got like 50, 60, 70 credits as stunt.
60, I think I counted. Yeah.
So, it's like, I'm a Hollywood stuntman. How cool is that?
Dude, that's the coolest. Yeah.
Does it mean much? No.
Yeah.
But for me, it's like another milestone that I got to hit, that I got to do. One of the things, people, I can't do it. No, don't say you can't. Try it. If it doesn't work, try it a little differently. If it doesn't work, try it a little differently. Try it until it works.
Yeah.
Very few things won't work. When I do these seminars, I say, if I'm looking at you for a job, white man, goatee, and I need a black lady, you ain't getting the job. Sorry. It's just the facts of it. It's okay. And I've been beaten out, I've gone out for auditions and, they went black. I couldn't win that one.
Right. It was just, yeah.
But, if you find spots, I tell people, look at TV and see what you could do. Could you really do that? Could you be a doctor? Could you be a lawyer? Could you be a judge?
Yeah. Yeah. How many Westerns have you done?
A handful. I would guess maybe under 10.
Okay. Because your mustache would have been
somewhere around that. I love Westerns.
Yeah, me too.
When I get called, it's like, oh, this is freaking cool. I love this.
This is what I wanted to do.
Yeah. Well, and, doing things that you don't normally get to do is always fun. So when you get the call and say, hey, I got this Western, you be part of it. Yes, pick me. Plus, I know how to do stunts. I'm not afraid of horses. I got hired once as a New York equestrian officer.
Okay.
And the joke was, I'm sitting there in a park eating an ice cream cone right next to my horse. The stunt person jumps on the horse and takes off. The horse hits me. So the horse has to hit me with its hindquarters, and I not fall or hit. Damn horse. That was my whole spot. But because I had to be hit by that horse by its hindquarters, they needed a stuntman. Sure.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Things like that don't bother me. I mean, I have been kicked. I've had horses that like to bite.
Yeah.
I was out at the Roy Rogers Ranch, which if you go way back, the guy that bought the ranch, I had personal friends with him. He goes, be careful of this one. It's a biter. Grabbed it by the bridle. Do not bite me. and I put it back. It never tried.
Never bit.
So not that it understood, but it understood that, oh no, this guy ain't playing games with me.
Right.
But I also learned I bring sugar cubes.
Oh.
Sugar cubes. We're going to be buddies today.
They love you. Yeah.
So things like that. So, if you've noticed, you probably didn't because it's way back. My Instagram started off with just animals in Hollywood.
Okay.
And I probably, 2-3 dozen on there. One of my pictures is holding a live baby tiger.
Yes, I saw that.
And I was the only one. Even the regular handler could not handle it that day. And I got her to settle down and just, not be all pissy.
Yeah.
I did one with a cat, a music video. And I remember trying to nicely hold the cat. The cat clawed the shit out of me. Up in the neck. I go, shoot now, right now. And the cat was like, okay, my mama used to do this. I ain't screwing with you.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to be nice and hold and everything. And it clawed me up. And just by the scruff of the neck, I held him. And the whole thing was the guy's car got lit on fire. Go, here's the culprit. Didn't make any sense, but that's what they wanted.
That's how it is. Yeah.
I've got, elephants and mountain lions. I used to work with a mountain lion in the ring. Before I started wrestling, and she jumped up. She got scared, jumped up, and her claws went through my leather vest, through my shirt, and just scraped my stomach. It taught me And she was just scared. And I'm like,
Right.
Timber, you're okay. You're okay. You're okay.
Yeah, it's all good.
200-pound cat in my arms wanting me to save her.
No scruff on the neck of that one.
Yeah. But no, different cool animals. Directors are usually very stupid when it comes to animals.
Oh.
I had one that wanted me to tie a rope around a mouse's rear foot so it couldn't get away. I'm like, no, it's going to sit there and kick its foot at 1,000,000 miles an hour trying to get that off.
It'd be like
my job. We had the shot in less than 45 minutes. I made a little corral.
Yeah.
Mouse in there, and I, and give it a little nudge and just done.
Yeah.
Same with the dog. I had a dog on one, and the director was like, I need the dog in there right now. I go, give me a moment. I've got to reacquaint myself with the dog. Went over, and the dog's looking like this. The camera's right here. The dog goes, there's your shot.
There
You're
you
welcome. So, yeah, a lot of, I love working with animals because, they're decent.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always say don't work with animals and don't work with kids. I work with both and have no problem.
There you go. I mean, yeah. So,
Yeah.
what was that? The Warner Brothers that said that or something? I can't remember. Somebody said that. One of the big.
Yeah, the worst thing you could do.
Yeah. Yeah.
And no, I find it a day off and a lot of fun.
Yeah, man. Well, you know what else has been a lot of fun is this episode and this conversation with you. And Al, we got to do another one sometime, man.
No problem.
Thank you.
We can go deeper into wrestling, or we can go deeper into Herb Abrams.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. So you don't tempt me too much. I'll just keep you on today. I'm just kidding. But thank you, Al. Honestly, this has been a true honor for you to come on and share your story with us, brother. I think you're so cool, man. So thank you for doing that.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. For all the fans out there, this is the real me. Too many guys live whatever they're playing on TV till they die.
Right.
And, that's not healthy. So, no, I'm just a regular guy. Got a family, got kids, got the same problems, got to pay bills, got to do this, got to do that. And I'm no different than a lot of people. I've just made some good connections and had some good breaks. And
right place, right time, man. And
well, but if it wasn't, there's another time and another time and another time. You don't give up on it.
Yeah.
And don't get sour because of it. Just go ahead and keep working. Like they say in wrestling, work the angle.
Yeah, I love it. Where are you right now, by the way?
I'm in L.A.
L.A., I figured. Yeah, I figured. Yeah. Is that pretty much where you've been?
I moved here in 91.
Okay, yeah.
And been here ever since. And, Hollywood's treated me good. Wrestling treated me good. I used to, the guy out of Denver, I would leave Minneapolis and drive picking up people on the way, like I'd go to St. Joe, Missouri, and pick up the midgets.
Yeah.
And we'd hit our first town, say in Colorado, go all the way to the West Coast here, and then go all the way across to Texas, and then all the way back home.
Oh, okay.
And I finally decided, I can just be here, and everybody else can travel to me.
Come to me.
So that became much easier, and then Hollywood came along knocking, and
That's awesome.
I'm also blessed because I got my SAG retirement, my screening field.
Awesome.
So just when the pandemic hit, I had a bad feeling, so I went ahead and took my retirement. So I don't need to work anymore. I can pay my bills on what I got, but every job I get, this is fun money. What am I going to do fun with this?
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Good for you, man. I'm happy for that. That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Well, that's a great way to end this episode, Al. You are awesome. Thank you so much for coming on. Have a great day. Thank you.
You too. Good talking to you. Take care.
Yes, sir. You too. Thanks. All right. That was the one and only Mr. Outrageous Al Burke. We'll be right back to wrap things up on Gimme Back My Pro Wrestling after these messages.
Hey, my name is Tammy Reynolds. I am the wife of Forsaken Rick Reynolds, that super cool guy that everybody knows and loves. And I represent West Side Sauces. I make sauces, I bottle them, I seal them, I sell them. I have a hot honey sauce, I have a sweet sauce, I have a hot sauce, I have a white sauce that's so yummy you can use it on everything. They are absolutely amazing and I'm so proud of them. We make them from scratch. So go on our website, westsidesauces.com, check out our products, read about our story, and go online and order you some of these yummy sauces. And Rick actually uses all of the sauces because he is a die-hard smoker and griller, and so he likes really good sauces and rubs, and I make them, so how convenient is that for him? Go on our website, westsidesauces.com, order you some samples, and I think you'll thoroughly enjoy them. Thank you guys. Be blessed.
All right, guys, we are back, and man, oh man, Al Burke did not let down. What a great guy that guy is, man. Seriously, thank you so much, Al. What a cool story. I mean, really, it started by meeting Hulk Hogan and ended up in Hollywood. How perfect is that? I know you put a lot of work into your craft, Al, so I'm not saying it was all luck. You did a great job, and thank you so much. And thanks again for coming on the show, and I hope y'all enjoyed that as much as I did. Next up, guys, you know we keep bringing it up, but it's important. Keep our buddy Ben Jordan in your continued prayers. I recently got an awesome report back, and I'll read what he sent me if I hope Ben doesn't mind. We got an awesome report from my PET scan. The chemo treatments worked and knocked out the new cancer, and some of the regular spots have even shrunk. The doctor said it was probably going to be the best PET scan that she looked at all day. Thank you, Ben, for sharing that. And guys, the prayers are working. Just keep them up. Continue to pray for Quinton's wife, Dana, as well. She just got out of the hospital. Hopefully everything is getting better for her, but y'all keep her in your prayers. Also, our buddy and former guest of the show, Steve Morton, recently had back surgery, so keep him in your prayers. Definitely think the world of Steve, and hope you're healing up well, buddy. And just honestly, greatly appreciate all of you to keep all of us in your prayers on this show. We really appreciate it. So thank you so much for that. All right, guys, that's all I got for today. Next episode, I can't spill it here, but I promise you're going to love it. But if you want to find out as soon as humanly possible, go to @GMBMPW on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and X. Guys, thank you all so much for liking, sharing, following, subscribing, all that good stuff. But most importantly, we just appreciate you for listening. And that one means a lot. So, for the one and only Mr. Outrageous Al Burke, this has been Give Me Back My Pro Wrestling, and we'll see y'all next time.
Don't forget.
How you doing, sir? Chicken or fish?
You better get out of my way, Billy. You're going to get hurt.
Oh, yeah.
Don't you talk to Billy Idol that way.
With a tear in my eye, this is the greatest moment in my life.
We'll see you next week. And until then, so long for now.
This has been a James Rock Street production.